most likely opponent is Nashville. So they're going to start with 2 games at home where they've had a really good home record. Perfect? No, but very good. And so you're starting at home, which gives you the ability to just feed their weakest players a steady dose of Johnny Gaudreau or Blake Coleman or Tyler Toffoli. Like, you have the ability. Traditionally, the line that gets beaten up 5-on-5, especially on the road, is that fourth line. And the pairing that gets beaten up a little bit, not very much, but relative to the other pairings, the pairing gets beaten up on the road is the third pairing. And if you have home ice, you got 2 games to start off and set the tone against Nashville, probably, and you get to feed them a steady dose of what you feel like feeding them. And so if you're the Flames, I mean, the Flames started off in 19 with a home win. Hooray. And then they lost 4 in a row. So I think Daryl's focus is win 1 game. Okay, great.
Then
reset.
Then
win 2 games. Okay, reset.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way they have to look at it, because we talk about Daryl's been with his goal setting. He's been looking at amount of goals they need to get from each group, and also sort of trying to focus more on the micro in terms of he doesn't look at we had one of the Bob Hartley's best legacies was a 7-game series. We at the site tracked 7-game segments, and the benefit of the 7-game thing is it chunks things up. Like 7-game segments, the ones we look at are traditionally about 2 weeks. You play about 7 games in 2 weeks. This year is a little bit less than 2 weeks, because usually, with how heavy the schedule is, you're basically looking at maybe 10 days, 12 days now, but usually it's about 14 to 16 days is a 7-game period.
Yes.
And so
three games a week on average in a regular season. Like 1 week you'll have 4, 1 week you'll have 2, but 3
so
on average.
It's a little bit more than 2
bit,
weeks, like maybe 15 days, something like that. So it gives you a chance to sort of focus on the immediate, the Flames have been really good when they sort of focus on that. And Daryl has them even, Daryl's philosophy is they sort of look at each week, week resets, and you look at you're sitting down and you're going, but they're probably, knowing the Flames, they have the day off on Wednesday, they come in on Thursday, and they're looking from Thursday the next 3-4 days, seeing when they can do it. So they've been really good at chunking it, and I think that bodes well for a playoff series, because they went in a scheduled loss situation in Nashville and got a point, and they deserved the point because their goaltending was really good, but because they scored some greasy goals. They scored those goals around the blue paint, both the goals right around the blue paint, and both the goals
that's his office too.
Both the goals were going to net goals. And if that's that they were facing a team in Nashville that were pissed off because they lost and did not look good in the loss they had. I believe it was against St. Louis in the last.
It was 8-3. It was 8-3.
St. Louis they weren't good. They were not good, and they were facing. They were facing a divisional opponent. They were facing a potential future playoff opponent, and they came into the face Calgary, and they were pissed off. And the Flames weathered the storm. They played reasonably well for a team that was exhausted. And I think if you're a Flames fan and you're going, okay, but they lost against Nashville, should I be optimistic? The answer is probably yeah, because that was a game that, given the circumstances, they should have lost in regulation. They should have lost in regulation fairly one-handed. The chances were 10-2, courtesy natural stat trick in the first period, 4-2 high danger. They probably should have been down many goals.
They should have been 2-0, 3-1. Like that's the first period should have ended with Nashville.
It was scoreless.
And it was scoreless. So Nashville. I think Nashville sacrificed a bit of offense at 5-on-5 just to contain Calgary. Like I said, they immediately sat back. They weren't attacking, because if they aggressively attack, the second Calgary goes in transition the other way, they are one of the top 5, if not top 3 best teams at transitioning the puck. So if their guy wasn't back, Calgary was going to burn them. Calgary was going to get possession, keep possession, wear them out, and that's where it's bad. So Nashville had to go straight up defense right off the hop. And that limit, they like we said, we talked about it. They have goal scorers. They have a defenseman that I don't think he'll hit 100. Some people say he will.